place real? That depends. If real is what you can feel, smell, taste, and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Pikachu, I have in my hand 2 pills. You take the blue pill, and the story ends now. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the Diglett hole goes. But be warned, dive too deep, and you may never return.
But ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax. Grab some popcorn.
It is time. This infinite investment game, I'll talk about alternative investments. This is not particularly investment advice, but if you listen to this, you'll be a better collector. And if you want to invest, you'll be a better investor as well. You just be smarter where you put your money in this kind of stuff, especially collectibles, especially pop culture collectibles. All right. I like this. This is going to be really, 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 really cool. We're going to do Bronze Age comic books. I already did a video of gold, silver, and I'm doing bronze. And then last, I'm going to do copper. All right. So if you're going to buy Bronze Age, especially as flipping or an investment, I think you're gambling. If you're investing, I think you're really gambling here, because many of this stuff is much higher population and it's more available. If you're going to buy, you want to buy this stuff at the highest grades, 9.8. 9.8 isn't available, 9.6, maybe 9.4, and you should generally, there's some exceptions, but I think you should stop there. And honestly, I think you should stop at 9.6 to be honest with you, but really go for 9.8. There are some exceptions, but anything else less than that, you're likely just wasting your money, tying your money up in something that really doesn't need your money to be tied up in. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe so we can defeat the YouTube algorithm. Also, yeah, I'm making videos, but I'm going to disappear for about 5 or 6 months because I'm just going to be busy with other stuff. And then I'll come back and make more videos and stuff like that. But for now, I'm done, right? I'm going to make a bunch of videos and I'm done. All right, so Bronze Age comics is an informal name for a period in history where an American hero comic usually said to run from 1970 to 1985. It follows the Silver Age comic books, which follows the modern age of comic books. The Bronze Age retained many of the conventions of Silver Age, with traditional superhero titles remaining the mainstay of the industry. However, returned to darker plot elements and storylines more related to relevant social issues such as racism began to flourish during the period, prefiguring the later modern age of comic books. Amazing Spider-Man there. All right. The first one that I will probably suggest is the first ever edition of Star Wars. Record sales were about $41,000. The minimum you could probably find is about $20. That's in the death condition, completely destroyed. Page is missing. Got baby food on it. You know, somebody hawked a loogie on it. Whatever.
Bro, pack it up, bro. This man is a menace.
Exposed to the elements. Rare. You want the rare variant? That is from 35-cent variant. I believe it only was released in like 4 different cities. One of them was like Memphis or somewhere like that. Yeah, Star Wars, I mean, came out in 1977. It's the first comic of that. You know, Star Wars is so iconic and it's going to be iconic in the future. So that one makes sense to me and I think to most people. And then you have the rare first print newsstand 35-cent price variant. Has a square price box, has July underneath the issue number, and also has a barcode in a UPC box. There are other 35-cent variants, and these are later reprints and should not be confused. They can be easily identified by the diamond price box and the lack of a barcode. So basically what that means is one also has reprint printed on the top left staple. These reprints are not particularly valuable in comparison with the much rare 35-cent newsstand variant. Here's pop reports. Probably want to get some under 25 if you can. Around 9 is here, and much under 25. Get to the 9.4, 9.6, I believe. There's only 2 9.6, but there's 13 9.4s. These are extremely rare. That's why I suggest this one. Extremely rare. 9.21. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what people need to be looking at here. You can make an exception for this. This is one of those exceptions where I can say, hey, get a 9. If you can afford it. If not, you want something in the top 20, and this is a little bit risky, top 32, whatever. But you can get a 9.2. It's not that big of a deal. Or a 9.4, right? You don't have to just say, oh, I'm only gonna get 9.6. It's super rare. Star Wars so iconic. All right, next. Iron Fist, 35-cent variant, first appearance of Sabretooth. Sabretooth is not really talked about as much. I would see him almost as a nemesis of Wolverine in a sense. Regular sale, $15K. Get the minimum you get is $180. These are all under 5 here. Very rare. These are under 10. There's 4 9.6. I would say this is a exception too. I feel like it's an interesting and iconic book. I haven't seen a movie or TV show that really coincides with the popularity of the book. So, but also you may be buying a book that isn't as hyped from what I've seen. Next you have Incredible Hulk 181, 1974. First appearance of Wolverine. Please do not buy Wolverine #1. I know Gary V will. If you have the money, buy this first before you buy Wolverine #1. Came out in November 1974. First appearance of the Wolverine. Record sales about $150,000. I believe I saw one sell for about $300,000 and a more recent price. I have to check that. But 9.8 record sales, 50,000, and minimum you can find is 1,500. Everything else is gonna go down. We'll look at the pop reports for a second, but yeah, 9.9, 9.8 makes sense. There's so many that's already 1,000 graded. Like 9.0 is 1,000 graded. 9.2 there's 800. That's not rare. 9.4 617. Really, you should be buying 9.8, and then 9.6 may go up and go up to try to catch it. Those are the two that if you have the money to spend, put in that. But anything below, I think you're crazy.
Oh my God, bro! G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe! It could have been anything else.
There's so many that are graded, man. It's so ridiculous. Let's do this. 16,196 graded. If you're buying anything else, you're wasting your money. Now, if you just want to own it and you're just collecting and you like to spend a bunch of money on that, do it. But this isn't the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. Because you're not. You just have your money tied up in something for 5 years. There's inflation. Then you eventually got to sell it. You may have to pay taxes. You may have to get insurance for it if it gets damaged, or you need to replace the holder. Like, there's other things you need to think about. I thought this was a bit of a joke, in my opinion. That's why I put it. But Cerberus #1, first appearance of Cerberus, the Aardvark. Near mid price around $2,800. Next, more serious, Green Lantern 76. Green Lantern Neal Adam cover, 1970. The signatures, very low pop. These have very low pops, all right. 9.85, 9.1, 9.4, 8.5. You only got one. You got the signatures. Very rare. Go into it and get it. Another one. House of Secrets, July 1971, Swamp Thing. Listen, the last one I would never buy, to be honest with you, and most of these other ones I just would never touch outside of that. After we'll get it more into it. Swamp Thing, Bernie Wrightson cover, I guess. You know, pop count 9.8. You got 3 of them. 28, 9.6, near mint 48. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I guess if you're buying it, you want these two. I'll be hesitant to get the 9.4. You have a lot, you don't have as many graded, but Swamp Thing isn't as known. This next one, everybody want to buy giant size X-Men #1, 1975, new X-Men team. And I believe this is the one that we see more in the movies, or more accurate in the movies. New X-Men team, record sale $45K, minimum 1,500, whatever. $12,000, man. $12,000. I mean, 12,121. There's so many of these. 9.8. That's the only one I would touch. 228. Like, I mean, if you're getting a 8.5 or lower, you're crazy. Even a 9, I think you're crazy. Because there's over like almost 2,000 here that are 9.2 or above. That's crazy. I don't think that's smart. Here's another one. Uncle Scrooge. 179. This is Whitman 1980 Disney. So in the early 1980s, a number of Whitman comics were only available in the US in pre-packs with some I guess, you know, you say they're available in very limited numbers outside the US, like, you know, Canada and Australia being 2 countries where some of these can be found. This scarcity seems to have affected Whitman comics from August 1980 until the end of the year. Apparently, U.S. distributors of newsstand market and the significantly smaller U.S. direct market simply never received many of these issues. High, you expect $1,000, mid 500, low 200. Next, Amazing Spider-Man. The reason why this is so important is first appearance of Punisher. This was published in 1974. It's a key addition of Stan Lee's Spider-Man franchise that has since exploded in popularity for its heavy involvement in today's MCU. First appearance of both the Punisher and Jackal, and now essential characters in the world of Spider-Man, as known as now as iconic Jill Kane design cover that has inspired countless home pages. In the story, the Punisher is hired by Jackal to kill Spider-Man. After a few battles between Spider-Man and Punisher, Spider-Man manages to convince the Punisher to instead work together to fight Jack, who eventually becomes one of Spider-Man's biggest rivals. The only one I would touch is 9.8, 166 of them, 15,846 graded. There's over 1,000 copy of these, man. Like, no. They can always be available. And people can, you know, things get hot, they can dump these onto the market. Nah, really the last one. I got some honorable mentions. The last one I have Star Wars #2. I mean, you know, Memphis, Toledo, Tuscaloosa, and Wilmington was where the newsstand 35-cent ones were found for the first one, and #2 is really nice because first appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Greedo, Jabba the Hutt, the Millennium Falcon. That's just blown out of, you know, proportion to the Death Star. Oh, Death Star.
Nah, bro, that's it. That's disrespectful as shit.
I'm not a baby boomer, so I'm not that crazy about it. But Luke Skywalker is basically rescued from an attack band of sand people by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Once Luke Obi-Wan and 2 drones, R2-D2 and CP3PO, are safely in Obi-Wan Kenobi's hut. R2 plays a recorded message by Kenobi from the Princess Leia's Organa, asking him to bring the little droid and the critical information contained within its memory to Aldurian. But yeah, this is pretty much the story that happens in that one. 6 Against the Galaxy. Like I said, I will only buy 9.8, 186 at the top here. I mean, there's only, almost 4,000 graded, but yeah, I don't think people are cracking 186 out of the case anytime soon, but that's rare. So I think if you buy 1 and 2, that'd be nice for a collection for people. Marvel Spotlight, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. I remember seeing the movie. That movie was not as good. That franchise is pretty much dead, even though I think Ghost Rider is a pretty overpowered character.
Green, like, well, damn. They really had to do the nigga like that.
And one of the first ones, 1972 origins, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. Record sales $264,000 minimum. You probably get a crappy one in the trash can somewhere for $20. And then the next honorable mentions is Werewolf by Night. First appearance of Moon Knight. Record sale $31,000 minimum. You may find it for $500. But listen, I think it's gambling really buying most of these from the Bronze Age. Hey,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
you may disagree, but I just think it's a bad idea. Stick to silver, stick to gold age comics. If you want to do Bronze Age, do the highest grades of more iconic. If you want to do X-Men, if you want to do Star Wars, really the first with the most iconic characters appearing at the highest grades is what you need to do. If you disagree, comment below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with as many people as possible. Peace.